Hello again everyone, thank you for joining me, I hope you're all well. Okay, so back in Euro Truck Simulator 2, and I think I've got all the textures sorted now, so that's one of the things I've done. And also, I've got another mod which puts a map down here, so obviously when we've got our own truck, I'm going to have my own separate route navigation, on a little sat-nav, so it will get a lot better. But for now, while we're working for the man, we're just going to have to put up with that, unfortunately. So I can't actually remember what we've got on, but in fact, I thought it was right, so it's steel. Okay, right, can't remember where we're going, but it's in the GPS, so let's just get started, shall we? Yeah, so I hope you're all well, hope you're all having a good one. Yeah, I've been looking through different mods, and I've found a few that I want to try, but yeah, obviously it'll be much better when we've got our own truck. So interior mods, that kind of thing. Right, so this feels like quite a heavy load we've got here. Also, in my first series I did on this, I was crying out for adaptive cruise control, because yeah, most modern lorries have it now, and it's an absolute joy. So basically what it means is you set your speed, so usually 56, and if the cars in front are doing 70, obviously you'll never catch them up, but if something's doing 50, when you catch it up, the the adaptive cruise control slows you down to their speed, and then if they speed up, you speed up with them until your designated cruise control speed. And if they slam on, it also slows down with them. It's absolutely fantastic. So the lorry that I drove for my first job, it had this, and basically all I had to do was steer, because it was an automatic gearbox, and a really good one as well in my opinion. And yeah, most of the time I was on the motorway anyway, because it was long distance, just 1 or 2 drops a day usually, if you even got 1 drop in a day. A lot of the time a job went over, so it might be 3 days worth. But right, okay, something else that has been added is emergency braking, so it obviously went a little bit mad there. So I'll have to turn that off, unfortunately. Yeah, but with all that stuff, you basically just set it at maximum speed, and let the lorry do all the hard work. So yeah, it is a little bit lazy, but in my opinion it's just making things safer, because the less you have to do as a lorry driver, the better. Less you have to worry about. Come on now. And yeah, I think I've chosen the first lorry that we're going to buy. So unfortunately there aren't many truck mods that are right hand drive, so unfortunately it is going to be a left hooker. But yeah, it'll be alright, because I might be running a ATS series as well, so that's American Truck Simulator. So I suppose it'd be a little bit easier for me switching between. Yeah, the reason why I used the Mercedes Actros in the last series, which was also a mod, was because it was available in right hand drive. And I went all over Europe in it, obviously. It's not an issue. I didn't actually mind driving a right-hand drive truck abroad in real life. It has some downsides, because obviously if you're going to overtake, not on a motorway, but if you're going to overtake, you can't actually see round the vehicle in front of you. And obviously lorries are very wide. But apart from that, it's alright. Right, let's have some music on. So we're going Epidemic sound today. Oh, and I'm drifting all over the road. Yeah, and it's just on house, so I hope you like it. Yeah, it's really annoying when you're working for the man on ETS, you don't often get a truck with built-in sat-nav. I suppose that's true in real life though. Right, we need to go over there. I think the music might be a little bit quiet. It's difficult to get the balance right now. I won't know until I've finished recording. Yeah, so there's a lot more into this in this game than I've shown so far. So you can change all the dials and everything as well. So obviously we've got a digital dash in this one. So I could flip through, see my miles per gallon, all that kind of stuff. But haven't rigged the buttons up for it yet. There's so much to sort out for a series that yeah, it's just very, very time consuming, and obviously I don't have all the time in the world, but I will get there if there's enough interest. Then it's worth investing all my breaks and everything and spare time into getting this near perfect. Yeah, so when you're working for a company on here, if you have to go and fuel it up, which is rare, you've usually got enough money to enough fuel to complete the job given. But if you have to fuel up, the company pays for that. Yeah, the first company I worked for, I really did land on my feet. First company I worked for, you were allowed to get Tesco club card points when you fueled up. And bearing in mind, like, you might be fueling up 1100 litres or something. My goodness, the amount of vouchers I got out of that was amazing. And while I used to do such long miles, such long routes, yeah, I did go through a lot of fuel. Yeah, so as you can see, we've got actual companies now. I'll try not to crash, but yeah, we've got actual companies on the game. So I've seen B&Q, Argos, the coaches should be correct as well. Come on now. Now, it is struggling a bit. But yeah, like I said, we've got a lot of weight on us, a lot of steel. Yeah, the second company I worked for, I used to drive these, and yeah, I really like them. I like the dash and the storage. It had little, on that kind of bottom shelf there, it had little cup sliders. So yeah, there was, I think, one as standard, but I quite often used to have coffee and Red Bull. It was all nights that I did coffee and Red Bull. So yeah, one of the other trucks was rarely used. So yeah, I can't remember what was wrong with it, but it wasn't great. So yeah, I nicked one of the cup holders from in there, and then yeah, used to keep that in my bag all the time, so I could have both. Go on, mate. No, that doesn't work. What's that? Is that coffee? Dunno. I think it might be. But yeah, so these should all be actual brands now. Yeah, you can't flash people in. So obviously, as a lorry driver, it's difficult to tell exactly where the back of your lorry is. So when you're overtaking another lorry, or say for instance when a lorry's overtaking you, it's like, it's nice to let them know that they can come back over. So you just flash them in when they're at an appropriate distance. And yeah, and then that's usually why you do that, because that's saying thank you to the lorry driver behind you. So it used to be you'd just flash your hazards, but yeah, we changed that because obviously it means hazard. So yeah, as a lorry driver, you're looking out for people with their hazards coming on. Because in a lot of modern trucks, I'll try it with this actually, so I'm going to slam on now. No, but in a lot of modern trucks, if you really hammer the brakes on, same as cars, your hazards will flash really, really quick. to alert the people behind you. Right, here we go. And yeah, I would have been using the handbrake at that point. So you can actually, if you really want to go overboard with this game, you can actually get a USB truck style handbrake. Yeah, which looks like, oh, I can't look down with my face tracking, but yeah, it looks like a real lorry handbrake. Yeah, it's just a shame you can't get a kind of long clutch. I suppose if you really wanted to, did both of these go that way? Yep. I suppose if you really wanted to, you could actually extend your clutch pedal, but then your accelerator would be really long as well. And it'd be awkward. Right, here we go. Yeah, I can't remember where we're going. So we're in London now. I just saw North Circular. I bloody hate London. I've got a phobia of driving lorries around London because people are morons. I've had to do deliveries right in the centre of London, and one of my worst ever deliveries was in Bond Street. My goodness, the parking round there, like just round the corner, and obviously you can't just do a 3-point turn in a lorry and go the other way. But yeah, one of the most stressful deliveries I've ever done in my life. And every time, because it was high traffic, like pedestrian, every time I got something out the lorry, I had to close it all up again. So it, like, what was that? Did anyone see that? That Sprinter just went straight into the side of us. Right, so I've gone the wrong way, and because I've got that blocker thing off, it's buggered everything up. So this might be a little bit of a problem. So ignore the next few moves. I wouldn't do this in real life, obviously. I'll go and try and find somewhere suitable to stand around, but that's not an option. Yeah, so every time you went back to lorry to get something else, they didn't have a forklift or anything like that. You had to close it all up again. So it was literally just taking one box at a time. Lovely car, mate. So this little Merc, well, it's not that little, is it? But this Merc next to us is actually my favourite shape of C-Class. Still can't afford one though. Yeah, I just think they look so good. They nailed it with this one. So nice. If anyone wants to donate one, I'm only after the diesel. Right, nice crunchy gears there where the clutch is wrong. But we're almost there now. And hopefully our next truck has got built-in sat-nav, and then I can just get rid of the map. Right. Yeah, and one of the lorry drivers I worked with in the second company, he had a phobia of the Blackwall Tunnel. Because, yeah, on one of his first days as a lorry driver, he went... Oh, press the wrong button. I was trying to go for the cruise control, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, he went bombing through northbound and, yeah, almost had an accident. Some people say it's really narrow, but I never used to find that. But if you're in an area that you really don't like driving in, like London, it can very quickly all, yeah, stress you out and you become a terrible, terrible driver. I did a lot of deliveries in Romford, and yeah, I wouldn't say I've got a phobia of it, but I did really hate it. Little Clio. I like a Clio. God, I want a Merc. Right, almost there. Little Pony Express behind us a second ago. Another one. Yeah, so that's actually a sleeper cab, believe it or not. So in the top of that is a little bunk. And yeah, you see a lot of them bombing around. It's a little bit dangerous though, because they never sleep. So they're always knackered because they get paid per drop. So they just drive like all day. Hopefully we can stop next to it. But yeah, if you're interested, just, I think it's Pony something. Let's undertake it so I can show you. Yeah, but it's just that little bit there, and they've got like a couple of windows, one each side, and then I think sometimes a sunroof as well. But they actually live in them and go all over Europe or wherever. Yeah, it's just a bit dangerous because they don't have to abide by taco laws or anything like that because they're under 3.5 ton. Anyway, that's probably really boring for people, isn't it? Right, almost there. Okay, Tesla. Yeah, I'm coasting a lot more than I would in real life as well. Right, where do they want it? Over there. Okay, so this one's a little bit awkward because they want it in there. So in real life, what I'd probably do is try and get the nose in there, then give it a little bit of a shift around. In fact, no, I won't go in there. Let's do this. So where we've got steel on, I can actually kind of see over. I can use a little bit of magic because yeah, like the trailer isn't gonna block my vision, is it? So let's put it in reverse high and see how the truck. Yeah, that's gonna be fine. So if you've got a really heavy load, sometimes it will stall out on reverse high, but this is going absolutely fine. Okay, right, handbrake, lights off, engine off, and done. Yeah, so just like that. Nice. Yeah, and like I said before, oh yeah, and I made it so that it's always going to be challenging parking now. Like I said before, you can skip it. So you basically just turn up at their gate. And then they'll, yeah, it'll automatically park. But I don't recommend it. Right, so let's have a look at the job market. And we'll try and get something a little bit more modern. So there's more chance of us, right, we were in London, weren't we? More chance of us getting GPS. We've just done a TGX. We might take that. Yeah, I don't want to go abroad just yet, so let's try this one. Yeah, and obviously when you're working for a company, if they don't provide GPS, you just use your own. So I used to have 2 spares in my bag, ready just in case. Right, so we've got GPS. So we'll turn that off, and yeah, then I'll try to use just that GPS. Right, okay. So we've got, yep. Let's go. That first. Okay. Should have my hazards on. Yeah, because I had a phobia of being somewhere and not knowing how to find my way. So, yeah, I had lots of GPS, and even on my phone, I had a truck GPS just in case. But I wouldn't recommend it to anyone else actually driving by that, because you just never know, do you? And that needed data as well. Right, so I like a DAF, as you've probably guessed. But yeah, some people like get really addicted to some trucks, and some people even change jobs just to be able to drive a certain truck. But once you've spent enough time in any of them, I think you grow fond of them. Especially if it isn't poverty spec. Right, so we need to go over there. Not just yet, but in a minute. Oh yeah, it is now. Perfect. Yeah, it's certainly a very different way of life being a lorry driver, and even though, yeah, you can earn like really good money on it, you get treated like pretty much a homeless person. Like, there's no respect, and that's something that used to really grind with me. Like, I'd go into a petrol station, for instance, and I'd spend 1,100 quid or whatever on fuel and get a coffee and yeah, a couple of bottles of water or whatever, some milk. So it wasn't just fuel that I was buying, and yeah, you get to the assistant and pay for it, and they'd barely talk to you, and they'd look at you as if you were about to rob them. And then the person behind you might be wearing a suit or a shirt and tie or something, and they go, "Hello there, sir, how can I help?" And it's just completely different. And like, you walk out there thinking, I've just spent like 200 times more than that prick. Anyway. And yeah, lorry drivers are very important as well. If we didn't have lorry drivers, there wouldn't be any stock in our shops. Yeah, there wouldn't be any gadgets or anything being made. The world would grind to a stop. And I'm not a lorry driver now, so I've got no reason to try and boost. What are they doing? Boost respect for them. But then there's lots of people that aren't respected. Not just lorry drivers. Yeah, and it's quite a dangerous job as well, so you can get done over in the middle of the night if you, yeah, can't find secure parking. And yeah, I've heard many horror stories about that kind of thing. Yeah, so the handbrake actually looks like that if you buy the USB one, but I can't be bothered with that. They're quite a lot as well. I think they're about 60 quid, and it seems a lot of money just for a button. Right, where are we going? Straight up? Bugger it, we're not though, are we? That was first. Right, so we'll just blow the truck up. Yeah, I really need a mod that makes the sat-nav kind of zoom in at junctions and zoom out at high speed. But unfortunately, one just doesn't exist, and I'm not a mod maker. Yeah, something else, driving around London or any massive city, where the buildings are all so high, quite often your GPS can't keep up. So it keeps thinking that you're in different places. So it keeps teleporting you around, and it's really confusing because it'll say, take the next left, take the next right. And it'll just keep saying stuff that's really unhelpful. And yeah, it just puts you in panic mode. Because obviously you've got to keep your eyes on the road, not bloody keep looking at the sat-nav. Yeah, already I can't remember where we were going. Was it Cardiff? I like Cardiff. Right, let's put cruise on. Right, we can speed it up a little bit now. Yeah, I do think the graphics are alright on this game. It's quite, once you've got rid of all the crap on the screen, like the silly standard sat-nav, it's quite easy to, yeah, like properly get into escapism with this game. Yeah, I spent about probably 2 weeks in Wales. Every time I tried to get out of it, not that I wanted to, but every time I tried to get out of it, we had another job, so I had to turn around and go back. And yeah, people there were lovely, but then, to be honest, nearly everywhere I went, except London, the people taking deliveries were great, like, on the whole. Luxembourg was probably, yeah, the nicest people I've met, and Germany. Yeah, even when I did a job in Germany before, the woman could barely speak English, and I can't speak any other language apart from English. So I relied heavily on Google Translate. Right, so that noise there, that's slowing us down because we've gone over 56. So yeah, that does happen in real life, because downhill you can roll way over the speed limit. But yeah, lovely lady in Germany. Like, I was really struggling to speak to her, and yeah, so I was right at the end of my hours as well, so I was trying to ask her where I could park up, and eventually I got there. So it must have been really frustrating for her as well, because I didn't speak any English. But yeah, she said that I was allowed to park there, because I didn't want to just park at a company's place and yeah, be in their way or anything. But yeah, I got all parked up and everything with permission, and yeah, and then she used her own phone to do Google Translate, and she told me all the places round that I could eat and wash and all that kind of thing, where toilets were, and yeah, really went out of her way. And she was just a member of staff, she wasn't the business owner or anything like that. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. But in Luxembourg, that was beaten, the, yeah, hospitality there. Oh no, frame drop. Yeah, hospitality there. So I got there, and there was a man and a woman who were a couple. I didn't know this, but they were married. And yeah, I had to do the same, park up somewhere close. They invited me for dinner, and they said that I could have their spare room. How amazing is that? Yeah, just beyond belief. Fezza. Yeah, I can't remember how I changed the info. No, I can't remember, but I'll sort it out. Yeah, I will get all the controls sorted so I know exactly what I'm doing. Volkswagen up. I think they do a turbo version of them now, because the ones that they first brought out, they didn't quite have enough go. In my opinion, they needed a little bit more to like keep up with modern driving. Well, the music's a little bit slow, isn't it? I put in house, but Epidemic sound is shocking for the amount it costs. Let's skip it. And Gary, if you're watching this, you'll be pleased to know I can't head bop. Oh, is this a Freelander? Yeah, I love a Freelander. I wish I'd bought one before. Oh, here we go. So, emergency braking where someone's just slammed on. So, I didn't do that. Excellent. Right, what are you doing then, mate? So, as you can see, our hazards came on. So, in real life, they'd be flashing like mad. It'd be like a strobe light. And then anyone behind, hopefully, it would alert them and they'd have enough time to, yeah, avoid. So, next time that happens, instead of staying in the same lane, I'll try swerving and going back on the throttle and seeing whether we can resume. Yeah, so my DAF had it. And sometimes there was little false alerts. But what used to happen was the dashboard would all be flashing red. And then, yeah, if you didn't react, it would slam on. But, yeah, luckily, mostly false warnings. Not many of them, but just the odd one. Yeah, I did used to pay a lot of attention, and you probably don't believe that if you've been watching me play other games, but I did take lorry driving really seriously, because it just takes a second and you can kill so many people. So even though I used to have my music blaring and be, yeah, loving life, and had all fancy lights in my cab as well, yeah, I was always concentrating, trying to keep everyone alive. Right, we're at 33 minutes. What's happened to this music? Undertaking. Little Honda. Yeah, so we're going to have to find somewhere to stop soon. So I wonder if I come off here, am I going to be able to park? No, that's not a roundabout. Yeah, sometimes on roundabouts in the UK, underneath this kind of thing, you can, yeah, bump up on the curb and, yeah, it's noisy, but you can get your brake in. Yeah, so in this episode, I've seen no... I thought that was one for a second. I've seen no distorted textures. So that's good. Slowly getting there. What I need to work on next is road noise. So I'll try and get that right. And yeah, some more work on the face tracking. And then I think it's near enough, good enough. Yeah, so one of the times I had to come back to Wales, I was about there on the other side. My goodness. And then back I went. And that's when the toll was expensive as well, so... Sky. Right, so, Wales. So in real life, there is a services not far from here. Right, we're speeding. Shall I try to be clever and go off here? I know it's not actually a road. I wonder if there's a roundabout the other side. No, look, Newport. We'll go to Newport. Spent a few nights there. What is this? This is meant to be house, for goodness sake. So if you're a content developer, content creator, don't get Epidemic Sound, it's useless. Oh, you have to spend about 7 million hours finding songs that are good. Yeah, this is actually quite accurate. And was that Flixbus I just saw? I've never been on Flixbus, but I've seen them bombing around and been jealous. Going cheap places, cheap prices. Old Merc in front of us. Yeah, so we're going to park up in Newport somewhere. Big Sainsbury's. Yeah, this is weird. This is almost too real. So I've spent a few nights just over here and I've walked to a supermarket, but if I'm honest, I think it was Tesco. But yeah, there is a truck stop around here, and if it's full you can park just outside. Right, so let's let's go in here. I'm turning the music off because it's rubbish. So there's some advertising for Epidemic Sound. It's absolutely crap. Yeah, and you enter this place the other side. And there's a... well, I don't know if she's still there, but there was a colourful character who lived in a caravan here. I don't know if she was the owner or what. Yep, and there's a burger bar. Look at that. So I'm actually really amazed at how accurate this is. Right. So I'm not going to go right up against that. Where's reverse? There we go. I'm not going to go right up against that wall, because we won't actually be here that long. We're not overnighting here. We're just stopping so I can get on to the next episode. Right. So in real life, I'll get out, have a walk back. But obviously I can't on this game. I'm blocking that, aren't I? Yeah, see how much room I've got. And then, yeah, back it up manually. That'll do. Right, handbrake on. We're not blocking it that much. Lights off. And yeah, that does bring us to the end of this one. So thanks for watching, everyone. I do really appreciate each and every view. And if you've liked this, please feel free to join me in the next one. So, cheers everyone, and bye for now.
Platform 17 for the 1832 South Central service to Brighton, fast to East Croydon, then Red Hill, Gatwick Airport, Three Bridges, Aldcombe, Haywards Heath, Wivelsfield, Burgess Hill,